think about competing in the long term with the Mag 7, who've got this incredible access to capital. How should founders consider going about that, right? What's your advice to others who are getting in here during this, this period of exponential growth in the AI economy? How do you compete? How do you think about that?
I
I
think you want to
think
be a large customer of those folks as well. I mean, we are major customers of all the AI frontier labs, and so they're quite excited that we're going to continue to push the bounds of autonomy, and their market caps are going to continue to grow probably dramatically in line with that return on investment. And Blitzy is going to ride those waves as well. And so, if you're happy when they're successful and they're happy when you're successful, then I think you're in a pretty good strategic position.
But
Sid?
there's one more thing, to add on to that. What I'd like to go back to what Dave said, right? Mercor, for example, it was able to do that because it went deep. I think that's also the case for us, right? We've seen the enterprise, Brian and I, from the enterprise side of the challenge and the enterprise perspective, and the security roadblocks and the product roadblocks and the process gaps that stop them from taking the full advantage of the product. So if you're an entrepreneur or a founder and you've seen this personally and you've struggled with this problem and you think you have a solution that addresses the core of that, and you've been able to test that with the actual enterprise and demonstrate effectiveness, I think you're holding on to something that is core,
So
right?
you're
I
saying
think that is,
understand the problem deeply.
yes.
Yeah.
Understand the problem because look, you have these Max 7, they're giants, they have all the money, that's fine, right? You're an entrepreneur, you're nimble, you can find the right investors. We were grateful to find, Dave, who believed in us the moment we pitched it. And we were able to get just the right amount of capital to get started. And that's
Mhm.
really all you need. If you have the right talent, the right amount of capital, and you have the right problem that you're going after that you're convinced about because you've experienced and solved it, then you're going to be so nimble and make these moves and get a product out that is significantly better than anything that the Max 7 can put together because they're struggling with their own challenges like bureaucracy and all of the hurdles that they have to go through to actually put out a
Politics,
product.
struggling with
Politics.
what to say over dinner with Donald Trump.
Exactly. So while they're
Alex,
distracted on all of that, you can build a kick-ass product, get it to market, solve real-world problems, and you've changed the world effectively.
Alex, what's your thought? How do founding entrepreneurs compete with companies? I mean, I remember famously, Amazon was out there as a platform for people to sell their products, but then when Amazon saw a product that had incredibly high, margin and growth, they would clone the product and compete directly. How do you keep from
Two
that happening?
two words: solve everything. I, there
That's
are
the
the
name of this
world
episode. Solve everything.
the world is filled with so many problems that a startup standing on the shoulders of the trillions of dollars of capex that are being invested in cloud, AI chips, fabs, energy are now poised to solve so many problems, thousands of problems. I think Brian and Sid, and again, congratulations on the benchmark announcement, are well poised potentially to solve the problem that we face of decades of civilizational software cruft, legacy code that's just piled up without enough human capital to invest in reinventing it. And now I think we're arguably on the verge of doing that. That's one of thousands of problems, entire domains that could be solved.
And
Protein folding was solved by AlphaFold, essentially overnight transforming a subset of structural biology. So many more opportunities.
Before I go to you, Dave, I just want to remind people, I define an entrepreneur as someone who finds a juicy problem and solves a juicy problem. And the more entrepreneurs in the world, the more problems that get solved, the better the world is. That's why we're going to hit on this over and over again. I think the career of the future is being an entrepreneur, finding a problem, falling in love with the problem, not the solution, not the tech. Because if you understand the problem deeply, as the tech evolves and continues, you're going to use the newest version to go and solve that problem. And again, some of my favorite lines: the best way to become a billionaire is help a billion people, and the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. So that's what entrepreneurship means. Dave, you see hundreds and thousands of companies. You've got how many companies right now in the Link Studios?
28 in the building and
28 in the
about
building.
50 total.
Amazing. What do you, when you're looking to invest in a young entrepreneurial team like Brian and Sid, or like the founders of Mercor, or again, some of the incredible unicorns that we've backed out of Link Exponential Ventures, what are you looking for to make sure that that company isn't going to get disrupted in the wake of a like OpenAI or Google slight jog to the right?
It's funny, Kevin Wheel, we asked that exact question in that podcast we did 2 weeks ago, and he answered exactly the way I had hoped he would answer, which is, in a world where the foundation model companies get to AGI and can do virtually anything, are you just going to take over the world? And, Kevin was really clear that maybe we can do that, maybe we can't. We probably can't anyway, but even if we could, we don't want antitrust to come in here and break us up. That's the last. We want a huge thriving ecosystem of partners that give us money. Is Blitzy one of those companies that gives us money? Yes. Therefore, they're our best friend. Go conquer the world.
I love
Take
that.
over, change the entire foundation of all legacy code base, make $1 trillion and give us half of it. We'll all be happy. That's what they want.
I took a 2-hour walk yesterday with a dear friend of mine here who runs a large venture fund. And we were talking about the notion that his bet was, Google had so much more capability than they unleashed. And they said, look, it's an OpenAI, go and do as much of this as you can, because we need someone out there competing with us. Otherwise, we'll get broken up for antitrust reasons, which is a fascinating idea. You need viable competition to help you price, to help you remain on the edge, to help you not be, broken down by the government. So,
and be a good partner. That was when Google was growing like crazy, and we had all these portfolio companies. We made a ton of gains, but be a good partner to Google while they're growing like crazy. And now it's the foundation mob. Just be a good partner. Talk to them all the time. Make sure you know where they're going, and they'll love you.